Hello.
And the topic today is Reiki. And I couldn't have thought of a better person to have on my show as my Reiki master. It's unbelievable that you have time for me
Thank
because you're
you.
such a busy woman.
Thank you.
So let's talk about Reiki because for me, it has been so profound in my life. And it all started from a car accident back in 2014. And been in several car accidents that were not my fault, but it was amazing that I found something that gave me an alternative to heal myself besides going to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I was going through physical therapy, had some depression that I was going through, all of these things probably manifesting from decades before, and wanted to have a way to heal myself that was different. And so I was working at a hotel casino spa and had heard about Reiki. I think I even actually had a Reiki session from a massage therapist back in 2012. And it was so profound. I remember I could not get up off the table. I was that
Mm-hmm.
relaxed. And so I didn't think about it. And when you're in this type of profession, being a massage therapist, you kind of hear about all these alternative healing methods. And something, I guess, spirit guides or whatever, just led me to why don't you why don't you do this or why don't you try this form, because it's out there.
Right.
And within 2 weeks, I looked up Enchanted Forest. Here's your class, which was a weekend class. It was a very long 8 hours
Mm-hmm.
and was so profound. That first day was on a Saturday and it was on a full moon. It was 11 women. Could have been men in there, but it was 11 women. And 11 is a very profound number for me. I am 11. And so, long story short, the class was amazing. Changed my life, Mellissa, and was so profound that I still practice it on a daily level. And I think that's
Great.
why it has been, helps me mentally balance myself, prepares for my day. And so, why don't you tell us a little bit about you now? Where are you from originally?
Wow. I was born in New Hampshire,
Okay,
but I've lived all over the country.
nice.
So I grew up in Arizona and Colorado,
Mm-hmm.
and then moved up to South Dakota for a while, and then spent 18 years in Philadelphia, which is where I received my Reiki training.
Wow.
And
Okay.
then I moved out here to Las Vegas, and now I'm getting ready to move again. So,
Everyone's kind of either transitioning in or transitioning out of the city.
right,
It's kind of how that is. How
yeah.
did you, where did you hear the word Reiki? Because when I mention that, a lot of people, yeah, I've heard of it, and others
Mm-hmm.
don't even know what it
Right,
is. Mm-hmm.
right. So, my journey with my healing began in the mid 90s. I
Okay.
guess you could say, is
Mm-hmm.
when I went through my spiritual awakening. And my first experience was actually craniosacral therapy
Yes.
with a Sufi mystic.
Hmm.
And
That name
then
sounds familiar.
my first teacher actually started teaching me about energy through sound,
Wow.
and which was really powerful
Mm-hmm.
and beautiful. And then I guess it was in 2005, I had been struggling with addiction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was born with a birth defect and had over 30 surgeries by the time I was 20. So, um, a lot of the stuff that I was addicted to were things that the doctor prescribed to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, I thought there's got to be a different way.
Yes.
There's got to be something different I can do. And then that's when I found Reiki. And it's interesting because I was in Philadelphia and on the East Coast, that kind of stuff is way more underground than it
Wow.
is out here on the West
Yes.
Coast.
Yes.
So I was definitely guided to Reiki. And my classes were unique in that my first Reiki level one, our class was 3 months long. So we would meet
Wow.
once a week for 3 months,
Mm-hmm.
and the same for Reiki 2. And my master teacher training was almost a year long.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how I teach it now, just a
Mm-hmm.
slightly shortened version. But I did teach the weekend class a couple times.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I remember you bringing up at that time that, and even William Rand, who I have the book, of course, that's what you use in your class, and he's associated also with Dr. Jeffrey Martin, who actually studied under William Rand, and they both were in Japan at that time when they went, I guess, in the early 90s. And I guess it seems like a lot of people want to hurry up and learn it. You know, I only have a few hours. I always get, well, how long is it going to take? And it's like they want to speed it up.
Mm-hmm.
And William Rand and I'm sure Dr. Martin talk about how it's really is a lot cheaper than really what was going on like in the 60s where it was like $10,000 for these classes. And the curriculum was very probably extensive and much longer. Mm-hmm. But here we are in the 20th century and everybody just wants, I want to learn it now. And but my thing, I always ask my students, are they practicing it? Because it's one thing to be in a class and teach for 3 or 4 hours, you get attuned to it, but are you practicing it afterward? And I don't know if they are. You know, I'm hoping that you can always go Reiki on because it's always with you.
Right.
But the experiences with Reiki healers were all different. So I feel that it is a method that you can call upon, and it definitely is amazing when you do. And I'm sure we're going to get into some of your sessions, or maybe one in particular that you would like to talk about. But Reiki is a Japanese word, and it is not ancient, it's contemporary because it's supposedly. And I always call him Sensei Yusui, the founder.
Yeah, that's what I call him too.
Sensei Yusui has come in my visions and dreams, and we have some long discussions. And he was not on this earth that long. I mean, this is a man that was born in 1865 and had 19, was it 22?
Yes.
That he went up to Mount Karama, and I always thought in my empathic mind that maybe he was dealing with some things, because why do you take off, you know, like that? Even though he was a Buddhist and all of these things, I feel like maybe he was trying to find himself, you know. And what do people do when you want to be left alone, you're dealing with whatever? I just want to meditate and find some things. So he he leaves this legacy, and everything is in Japan. And so was it really Mrs. Takata that started it, who was in Hawaii in 1965, somewhere around there? And woman was very sick. She was of Japanese descent and decides to seek out Reiki in Japan. And I'm guessing that she found one of his students who obviously were alive during that time. And was very profound. And tell me.
She studied with Hayashi, Jujiro Hayashi, who learned from Mikao Usui.
I see.
He was one of Usui's first students.
Wow.
And, you know, back then, there was a lot of mistrust with Western medicine. So a lot of times people would go back to their home countries and get treated there.
Sure.
And so that's what happened. And she ended up in Hayashi's clinic, Reiki clinic.
Wow.
And after 3 months of treatments, she was healed. And of course, she wanted to learn more about it. And so she's really credited for bringing the practice to the West. And Hayashi actually came to visit her in Hawaii and taught her the master level there.
I see.
And then she trained 22 masters. Of course, she trained thousands of people in the first couple of lessons or first couple of levels, but she actually trained 22 masters. And yeah, she's really credited for like really, you know, expanding the practice worldwide.
Worldwide,
Yeah.
amazing.
And that's what Yusui wanted. He wanted the practice to spread.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
How is Reiki used? And, you know, tell my viewers, a lot of it is channeling, some of it laying on the hands, and the healing aspect for whoever that you're treating or client or patient that comes to you is different. For me, it depends upon what do you want, what are you asking for, and sometimes when I'm just hovering over that particular area, I start getting hot. The heat starts just getting hot and kind of have to shake it off, and sometimes the client or person will feel that. What happens with you? Do you feel heat? Is it tingliness or?
Yeah, it's different every time, which I've been practicing for 15 years now. So, and I'm always getting different sensations. It's a lot more exciting than my old life, which was in finance,
Right.
believe it or not. But yeah, so Reiki, as practitioners, we're here to create the space for our clients to get healing. We're there to step out of the way and let the energy do the work. So what we do as practitioners, we open to the energy for the greatest healing good, and then we'll either place hands on the body or off the body. And you know, there are specific hand positions, but the Reiki goes wherever it's needed to go.
I feel that way too.
And it works on the physical, emotional, and spiritual level. So you get a different experience every time. Like one time you might have lots of visions. Another time you might feel like physical sensations, energy moving in your body. And other times you might just fall asleep completely.
I've had that to happen too.
Yeah, so it's really beautiful. It always works. It's great to have an intention, but it's also good to not have any expectations because, you know, the energy itself knows exactly what you need.
That's true.
We often think that we know what we need.
Right.
But how many times has that been different than what we really need? So, yeah, so as practitioners, we're supposed to get out of the way and just be a clear channel for this energy.
It's amazing
to move through.
Yes, everyone is different, and like you said, every person or client that I do also, I just let the energy flow.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's just a beautiful thing to know that it's just coming from us, and that this person or client has seeked us out for whatever reason. And to hear afterward of some of those things that you just said, either they went to sleep. Other people talk about being so relaxed and feeling really good. And there is a healing aspect also to Reiki. A lot of Reiki healers are in cancer wards, healing all kinds of ways, these registered nurses. And so it
speeds up the body's natural healing ability, which is why it works.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, there's no doubt about that. So definitely, we're going to be right back. We are on a break. We'll be back with Mellissa. Thank you.
Social media shows network were initiated in 2017. Since then, our founder Maria Pereza never stopped developing a system on social media, in building a network of passionate people that loves to entertain, coach, help others, and deliver informative information to the public, informally, in a low-cost production. She built a platform that surpassed Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and other social media live streaming, but exceeded the function of a podcast. Her main goal is to be able to broadcast on social media like a traditional TV setup involving a group of broadcasters, YouTubers, podcasters, and social media live streamers. Maria is building the confidence of non-actors and non-famous people that joins her to network. We are here to promote and support one another, to help our community grow collectively without inhibitions but with confidence and high self-esteem. We love to be in this family together. Our door is open to help you build your brand, opening opportunities for others, and outreach to our community. We welcome you to the family of social media shows.
And we are back. Again, welcome to Paradigma Theories. I'm Kim Aninag, and this is Mellissa Ameika, and we are talking about Reiki. So I wanted to go into a little bit more depth about long distance Reiki. And I know that when I took your class and you were telling us about that, and I started to do maybe like call up friends and would you like a long distance Reiki session for me? And I'm not even sure if I knew what I was doing because it's like, and I kept doing it until I felt that the energy that I'm sending to that person who is not in the same room with me, how profound that became. And also how it opened up more of my psychic ability. So let's discuss long distance.
Cool. Great.
Yeah.
First, I want to just clarify what Reiki is, because I think a lot of people have misperception of that Reiki is universal energy. So when we're practicing on ourselves and other people, we're not giving people our energy. It's universal energy channeled through us. So, but that kind of ties into distance healing. And so I wasn't raised with any kind of spiritual upbringing. I was a math and science girl all the way.
Really?
And oh yeah, I was the biggest skeptic in my class.
Wow.
But
Okay.
I've been going through this opening, so I was open enough. But I remember when my teacher said, "We're gonna do distance Reiki. You can send Reiki to someone in a different room," and I blurted out, excuse me, I blurted out, "Oh, come on."
Right.
And everybody in my class started laughing, and my teacher started laughing. But so basically, and this is something you learn in Reiki 2, level 2, but you can actually focus the energy onto another person in a different room, in a different state. And it's all about intention. Reiki follows intention. And then we have, different various methods, using the legs or using a teddy bear as a stand in for the energy, or you can do it like I do it, being a shamanic practitioner and a dream walker. I journey.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, yes. Yes.
I often do my energy work that way, and it can be just as powerful. If I can, I'd love to share a story
I
of
would love to hear a story.
my first
Yes.
experience with distance Reiki. We were supposed to practice on each other.
Okay.
We paired up in class, and I gave the person that I was supposed to give Reiki that one night, and then she was gonna give me Reiki in the morning.
Mm.
So I sent her Reiki, and I was like, I don't really know if it's feeling, I don't know if it's working or not, but, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing it. And then the following morning, I woke up and I was freezing. It was so cold in my
Wow.
apartment. My chest I was in so much pain. I was coughing. I couldn't stop coughing. And I thought, great, I'm not going to feel whatever she sends me
Mm-hmm.
because I was in such an agitated state.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that she was starting at 7 in the morning. So I'm sitting there, coughing, coughing. My
Wow.
boyfriend's making tea, trying to help. And the next thing I know, all of a sudden I feel this warmth in my chest. And everything started to loosen up. And this warmth just radiated. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. This
Wow.
warmth
I am
just
too.
radiated
Mm-hmm.
out
Mm-hmm.
throughout my whole body. I stopped coughing. And I warmed up,
Wow.
actually. And yeah, so that night in class was pretty interesting because I was screaming, it worked, it worked. And I didn't think it would work.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very powerful.
It is very powerful.
Very powerful.
I have to ask permission, but long story short, about one of my long distance Reiki healing was with one of my clients, massage clients, had wanted me to contact a friend of hers whose mother was in the hospital. And I remember that day I was extremely exhausted. I had gotten home and I just felt like had given everything that I could, and I was thinking, oh boy, I don't know if I have anything left to give to anyone. So you call Reiki on, and I said, I'm going to go and see what I can do with this woman. And I had felt like I was in the hospital room with her, and she was someone that was very ill and was not responding to doctors. And I just stood over her and I was like, well, your family is wanting you to respond. And I actually asked her, what is it? Because I really didn't know what was going on with her. And I said, are you okay? And I'm going to send you this energy. And I didn't mention anything that I was exhausted, but I'm just like, Reiki on, please help this woman. And I sent it, and then I didn't think much of it. So the next day I get a phone call from the daughter saying that her mother was responding and was awake at that time. And so it was very profound because we did some more things with one of my students, Michael, and the mother and stepfather was living in a house that they were leasing out, and I wanted to cleanse the house to prep the mother to come back from the hospital. Let's sage and let's cleanse. And it was so interesting because before we went, my empathic mind, I keep a journal. So with anyone wants anything, I had actually pictured these arches in the house, and I had written ceramic figurines. I already knew what the house looked like before I even got there. So we had gotten there, and sure enough, here are the arches all through the house and all these ceramic figurines. And I just felt like, it's a very big house, and the previous owner has some things in there that needs to be cleared out, and let's just go cleanse. And so me and my student, we were just cleansing all over the place, and our client thanked us. I didn't think much of it. I left it alone. And so went for about a week, and had sent some more Reiki energy to this particular client and her mother. And long story short, got a phone call from my client who said that her mother was deteriorating at this time and to send some love and some healing. And I said yes. And what was so interesting about that was I went into a deep meditation. And this particular meditation was because I kept getting from the daughter that they weren't ready to let go of their mother, is what I kept getting. And so through this vision that I had, I was actually on a beach and cross-legged, and guess who's next to me but Sensei Yusui. And I looked at him and I was like, okay, why are we here? And I said, do you want to go with me? Let's go to the hospital and let's heal this woman. And he looked at me and he was like, slow down, Kim. And he had fish that he had cooked. He goes, I want you to have some fish. And I was like, okay. So I ate some fish. Next vision, we're in the hospital. Sensei Yusui and I were applying Reiki. This is like flipping a channel on a TV, and the next vision, we're back on the beach again. And this time, my client's mother is there. And he offers her fish. And I looked, and she took some of this fish, and this woman got up, and she was running in and out of the ocean laughing and just happy. And I looked at her and I looked at Sensei Yusui and I said, well, what is your decision? And she looked at me and she goes, I love it here. I don't want to go back into that body. And I still have the text on my phone to this day. Where I gently sent this text to her daughter, and I was like, prepare, because I'm not sure. And a few hours after that, she did pass. So, I'm getting chills. I don't know if you feel it, because we're talking about you. I know, really, May.
I'm so glad you brought that up because
I'm getting deep chills.
Yeah, because Reiki is not a cure.
It's not.
It can definitely have miraculous cures happen. I've seen people's tumors go away after getting Reiki, but honestly, like, healing and curing is completely different. And the healing process, I've had clients who have died, but it's not my job to, save them, but to make them comfortable and whatever peace they can find. That's what it's all about.
And I think as we talk about that with distance healing, that and as practitioners, even as massage therapists, we don't proclaim that we're healing anyone, though people will come to us hoping for a miracle. And you subtly, you don't say those things, that we're just here for this moment, and hopefully whatever you get out of it is going to be that aspect, and then you can just use whatever other tools that you have, which is probably seeing your doctor, seeing whoever else that is degreed that can tell you what's going on. I have a lot of people that ask me, and I was like, I can't offer that to you. There has been many research articles and studies on Reiki and whether or not it really is something that can cure diseases and people. And like any alternative healing method, there's a lot of them out there that miracle has happened. But there's no, there definitely isn't anything that research-wise, I think that it's usually inconclusive. And so, which isn't anything bad, just because, they, like UCLA did some research studies on Reiki and it was inconclusive. I just feel it's just the same thing with anything. You believe who you want to believe.
Yeah, and if anybody is interested in looking into that and like Reiki in hospitals, there is a woman. Her name is Pamela Miles, and she's a medical research, and
Wow.
she's a medical researcher, and she's also a Reiki master. And she came to our school back in Philly, like, I guess it was maybe 12 years ago,
Wow.
and talked about Reiki in hospitals. So there are a lot of studies on the NIH, through the NIH, and Reiki is actually being incorporated more into the hospitals because they're proving that it does help. It speeds up the body's natural healing ability. And I was lucky to be part of one of those
Wow, that's great.
research
Yes.
programs when I was going through my master training.
Wow, that's very
And
profound.
this was at the University of Pennsylvania Cancer Center. And yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Well, just to see that, and there's some massage therapists that I know that are also Reiki healers that are going out and into these. Some of them are absolutely amazed at the care that is given because it's just not only with the person that has cancer, but with the whole family that you're dealing with. And so the energy that you are giving to that loved one or to that whole family is so important.
Oh, yeah.
And when people are looking for things to help them, and I always say that there's so much out there. There really is. And whatever you feel that you're comfortable with, and you may have to go and find something else. But what do you think is when people come and get Reiki sessions that some people want more than that hour? They may want the 90-minute one or the 2 hour. And there are some Reiki healers that want to take that person, and it's like, you need to come back next week. And then they really find out that, oh my gosh, this has really helped me. I did like several sessions of Reiki. Can you talk about that? Have you ever had any clients that more than one session?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I work, most of my clients come to me repeatedly, especially in our society today. Everybody wants a quick fix. So literally somebody coming to see me for a Reiki session and expecting to be healed of everything that they're going through is no different to me than going to a doctor and asking for a pill. So, like, we have to take responsibility for our own healing as well. And that means committing ourselves to taking care of ourselves.
I agree.
And, it's not going to happen in one session. Again, miracles do happen, but that's not the way it works most of the time. So I do have clients that come to see me on a weekly basis when they're working through a specific issue, and they go home and they do the homework. They do their own work. They're not just expecting me to do it all for them. And then I also have clients that come in every couple of weeks. And then I have clients that come in once a month. And then I have clients who come in, just for a touch-up.
Yes.
Because you don't have to be suffering, to have, or to benefit from it, So,
it's amazing.
yeah, and I don't ever put pressure on people, but I do encourage them. But then again, if we as practitioners are doing the work on ourselves, then we're going to attract clients that are willing to do the same.
Absolutely. That's so profound what you just said. It definitely, in the years that I've been doing this, has have a very tight-knit, close friends, and some of them get it, some of them don't. And but when they do receive it from me, they are just amazed. How it just feels good, how it just balances their day. And that's one great thing as someone who is a healer themselves, is that I apply that. And it's a mixture of different things, but I definitely get into myself and try not to overwhelm myself with different people and different situations, environmental situations, because I feel like it just, with this energy work, we feel energy all the time. It's just in this room is energy. And so it definitely is something that people should look into and try and feel for yourself what Reiki is all about. There's so many people out there, it seems, are really awakening themselves to getting certified in Reiki. So I'm just thrilled that you came, Mellissa. Thank you so very, very much.
Been fun.
Yes, and for more information on Mellissa, just go on the link and follow the link, and it'll take you to, is it Wolfstar?
WolfstarHealingServices.com.
Amazing. I'm going to have to come to one of your drumming sessions, because that is, we'll have to talk about drumming one day.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
how profound that is. That's a whole other healing within itself too.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. Thank everyone to watch and comment and like everything on my Facebook page, YouTube channel. All of that is coming. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time on Paradigma Theories.